Okay, we are about to go live on YouTube. Already recording. Okay, here we go.
Here's Reverend Bill with your God Call.
Today we get to take a lesson from, of all things, the fire hydrant. Now, most of the time you don't even notice the fire hydrant. It sits there on the street, out of the way, and nobody really pays attention. But when there's a fire and water is needed, that little fire hydrant becomes the source, the channel, the opening through which all of that very, very important water is flowing. So don't write anything off just because it's small and unassuming. There is great resource and great power in unexpected places.
Whatever God is, I am. Whatever God is, I am. All the beauty of this world is right here in my heart. My imagination is the place I start. Whatever God is, I am. Whatever God is, I am. All the grace of heaven is right here in my mind. And when I surrender, I know that I will find whatever God is, you are. Whatever God is, you are. All the goodness of your soul is shining through your eyes. The more that I can see it, the more I realize. Whatever God is, we are. Whatever God is, we are. Nothing is impossible underneath the sun when we live within the truth that all of life is one. Whatever God is, I am. Whatever God is, I am. All the joy that I embrace begins and ends with me as I recognize my greatest destiny. Whatever God is, I am. Whatever God is, I am. Whatever God is, I am. I am that I am. I am that I am.
Thank you, Deb. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And good morning, New Thought, Philadelphia. Woohoo! The folks in the room, the folks who are joining us on Zoom, it is wonderful to have you. The folks who are watching the video, I understand there are people who wait until this is, they can watch the recording on YouTube so they can skip over the parts they're familiar with. Or perhaps play my talk at 1.5 speed to save time. I don't know what that's all about, but I'm learning to not take it personally. So you guys know the rules on Zoom, which is to keep yourself muted except when we're sharing. You guys know the rules in the room, which is be polite. and keep the side conversations to a minimum so they don't distract me or the musician or whoever's talking. But just for now, let's all unmute and raise a joyful noise. Repeat after me. I open myself to love.
Open myself to
I
love.
open myself to joy.
I open
Open
myself
myself to joy.
I am going deep within.
I am going deep within.
I know love is right here, right now.
And I know love is
right
right here,
right
right
now.
now.
So it is.
And so it
So
is.
it is.
All right, mute or shush, and I will remind you that New Thought Philadelphia is an open and loving community of spiritual adventurers, welcoming each person to experience their divine nature in an empowering space of unconditional love. Whatever brought you here today, wherever you're going next, we have been waiting for you, and welcome home. We don't insist that we believe or agree on anything. We just tend to all agree on the notion of oneness. There is one power, one presence, one love, one intelligence or force that creates everything, including each of us. And then we're each using that same power, love, intelligence, or force to create our lives according to our beliefs. The way we like to say it, your new life begins with a new thought. If you have an extra electronic device, and I'm just realizing that mine is not on shush yet, so I'm going to get all of them to talk to each other and agree that they're not going to interrupt me. There we go. Silence. All right. Shh. Because you don't want to be the one that has your phone go off during the meditation, especially if you're leading the celebration. I'm Bill Marchiony, the spiritual director at New Thought Philadelphia. Our music today is by the amazing Deb Chamberlin. Got a couple of practitioners in stock. Jesus Baez is going to lead us in a meditation in a little bit. And right now, Joe Catanzaro, our SCP, is going to open us with a practical prayer. Joe, come on up. Yeah.
I think this is actually the third prayer of the morning because Deb, that song was perfect. It was perfect. So that was the opening that we should all, that offers us the information that we can know that there is only one. That presence, that love, that power, that intelligence is the I am. Wherever God is, whatever God is, we are. Settle into that, open to that, know that. So whatever you can imagine or assign to that power, love, peace, harmony, joy, abundance, security, divine order, wholeness, all of it, whatever word, whatever name you want to give it, just any of that is our source, our supply. It is available to us because that power is us. It flows through us. It stands behind us. It works through us. We only see it when we allow ourselves to use it and open to it. So for all of this good, for this knowing, for this connection, for this community, I am grateful. I claim all of this good for each one here. And I know that we embody it because we're here today celebrating with music and a talk and connection and conversations and meditation. And that's how we open to that embodiment of the one. So I claim this for each one here. I claim all of it for each one here. I allow it, I accept it, and I'll release my word to the law that always says yes, and so it is.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. And the reason we do a prayer, you don't need to stop. You're good. You're good. The reason we do a prayer, a practical prayer, is because it changes the experience of life that we're having. Anybody have a prayer work story? This is a wonderful time to share it. Go ahead and raise your hand or click your electronic thing if you're on Zoom. I have one. So I went to Kansas City, to Unity Village last week. And one of my prayers was for the travel to unfold in sweet perfection. And a lot of that was urged on by the previous trip that I did to Kansas City back in June to visit and do their preparations. The flight home got delayed and delayed and delayed and canceled and rerouted and everything else. Instead of getting home at 8:30 at night, I got home at 3:20 in the morning. So I didn't really like that. So the prayer was for all of the pieces to fit together in sweet perfection and unfold delightfully. And on the way out, they boarded the flight, and it turns out that everybody that was on the flight was on board early. So they closed up the plane, and we left 15 minutes ahead of schedule, and we got to Kansas City 50 minutes ahead of schedule. And the shuttle that was picking us up knew about it and picked us. He was right there on time, and it all just went perfectly. There was a little bit of a delay coming home, but they made up the time, and we actually landed in Philadelphia a minute early. And there was a gate in Philadelphia. If you show up in Philadelphia 20 minutes early, you still have to wait for the gate to free up. So we were there on time, and everything fit together perfectly. So prayer work story, and bam, there you go. Michelle, you got one for us? Come on up. And Breen is going to report in with a prayer work story next week.
Good morning. Mine is a journey that, as many of you have been aware of since last December, after my son and I had a car accident, and he had a concussion that was life-altering. And so it takes a lot of faith to go on that journey. And as a mother, before I was a mother, I would not say I was an anxious person. But after being a mother for 30 years, I realized that I struggle with fear for my son, and for his wellness. So the first was I've treated for his lawsuit, his personal injury lawsuit, to unfold in perfect order. And of course, he didn't take the lawyer that I wanted him to take, so I was sure it wasn't going to work. But the universe provided, and the first leg of it, he got his full compensation, which doesn't make up for other things, but it's the first step, and it's a very successful ending there. And then for mine, realizing during this journey what an anxious person I am in motherhood is the unfolding of peace. And I've treated for myself to be peaceful and acceptance, and know that it's out of my hands, that the universe is in alignment with me and with him, and respecting that journey. And it's been very helpful. So that's mine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Not over yet. Got news yesterday that one of the founding board members of New Thought Philadelphia, Mary Angiello, has passed, and she was actually introduced to the community by Michelle. So I'd like you to join me just for a moment of silence to reflect upon the gifts that have come into our lives and through our lives from people who are still with us and people who have walked on. The gift remains, and so it is. I'll make you talk some more. Time for announcements.
Thank you, Bill, for that. Okay, announcements. This leaf pile of information is on the website at newthoughtphilly.org. You can sign up for a weekly e-newsletter so we can keep in touch. Reverend Bill and Anton are hosting another You Are Not Alone supportive gathering for challenging times next Sunday on Zoom at 7 p.m. It's a space to be heard or simply listen. Come as you are, leave feeling less alone. I can't advocate for this enough. It's so helpful, at least for me. The Practical Prayer podcast this week is Intelligence, Authentic and Otherwise, with Carol and Reverend Bill. Listen where you get podcasts and watch the live recording session tomorrow at 1 p.m. on New Thought Media Network. We host a dozen online meditations every week. Drop by for 15 minutes of inspiration on Zoom. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings this week are also on Insight Timer Live. Sandy leads the Power of 8 Intention Circle every Monday evening from 6:30 to 7 to help bring new experience into the lives of the group members. Get God Calls. There's a half-minute of inspiration on your phone 4 times every week, starting with a free 2-week trial. Info is at godcall.org. There are now nearly 2,600, we're up 100, spiritual adventurers in our group on meetup.com. Join or drop by a daily meditation to see what they know. And follow, subscribe, like, and share on Instagram, Facebook, Insight Timer, and YouTube. We are grateful for your financial support. Please support New Thought Philly with a tax-deductible donation by Zelle, Cash App, check, PayPal, Venmo, credit, or debit card. Thank you to the team that makes these celebrations work. We get together ahead of time to get things in order and have some fun. Email the volunteer coordinator to join the joy. Next Sunday is online with Getting to Yes. A key part of our teaching is that the universe always says yes. Reverend Bill explains how this important notion applies to our everyday life. It's a video Sunday featuring some of our favorite musicians over the years. The practitioners are available for professional sessions by appointment. After the celebration, Joe is available for a quick transformational miracle in a minute prayer. Stick around in the Zoom meeting after the celebration for casual conversation.
Thank you, Michelle. I'm looking around the room. I'm looking around the Zoom. I'm not seeing anybody who's here for the first time, which is fun. So we get to bless each other. As I like to say at weddings, all rise. Rub our hands together. Feel the love, feel the warmth, feel the power. Send that out to those who are with us here and virtually. We are the bright lights of God's love. I am so grateful for the way that wonderful bright light is shining and sharing and revealing itself through and as and in each of us. We are a blessing and we are blessed. So it is. Deb's going to do another song for us. If you're on Zoom, go ahead and make eye contact with the folks who you're together with. If you're in the room, hugging time.
You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth, and who we are, and all we do is a blessing to the world. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth, and who I am, and all I do is a blessing to the world, a blessing to the world. I am the heart, I am the hands, you are the heart, you are the hands, we are the heart, we are the hands. Thank you.
To remind us of our oneness, we light the flames of faith. And today, Scopy is going to do the lighting part, and Benjamin is going to do the flaming part.
Good morning.
Scope, you're muted.
We perform this ceremony to acknowledge that all people and all faiths come from the one power, love, intelligence, which we call spirit or God. We honor the richness that comes from our shared diversity and bless the interwoven energy of the divine feminine and masculine. We light the first candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for the earth-based traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous people the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the ninth candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. As we light the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone or any place you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love.
Blessed be. Certainly plenty of opportunity for a healing flame as we look at what's going on around us. We have a reading now and shared by Nia. And it looks like it's from New Thoughts for Today. I didn't know ahead of time. Good for me.
The reading is called With Faith, I Trust My Divinely Inspired Guidance. One who trusts will not panic. Isaiah 28:16. When I feel lost and my navigation begins taking me in circles, I remind myself that within me is everything I need. The divine spark within knows the way. I just stop, sit still for a moment, and make my heart beat the rhythm of my greatest intention to trust the still small voice inside. I close my eyes to visualize my true north, my authentic truth. A small puppy may appear lost for me to follow, only it has come to order my steps. A road sign may provide the detour I needed to find a better route. An unexpected phone call may set in motion a delay that actually causes me to arrive early. I trust the nagging thought that leads to the inspirational breakthrough of my inner compass. When the mustard seed assured the acorn that a mighty oak was inside, the acorn couldn't see it, feel it, taste it, or sense it in any way. Yet the acorn trusted the moment of promise, that in all its knowingness, it is already a tall, gigantic, and strong oak. It just needed faith to say so. This is my reminder that when I mindfully trust the Great Spirit to lead, divine order guides me to my highest good. With faith, I am the mighty oak. My faith is grounded in I am. I am awe-inspired in the creativity that is me. It is my divine nature to soar beyond space and time to live my divinely inspired life. And that's by Reverend Dr. Teresa Rose Coleman, Unity, Detroit, Michigan.
This is a beautiful song written by Janice Stanfield and Jimmy Scott. What would I do if I knew I could not fail? If I believed, would the wind always fill up my sail? How far would I go? What could I achieve? Trusting the hero in me. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where fools and dreamers dare to tread. I never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? And what if we're all meant to do what we secretly dream? What would you ask if you knew you could have anything? Like the mighty oak sleeps in the heart of a seed, are there miracles in you and me? If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where fools and dreamers dare to tread, and never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? And if I refuse to listen to the voice of fear, would the voice of courage whisper in my ear? If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where true believers dare to tread, and never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would you do today if you were brave? What could we do today if we were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave?
Beautiful. Thank you, Deb. Thank you. That's a wonderful song. I spent the last week at Unity Village at the affiliated New Thought Network retreat, which was wonderful and uplifting, a little exhausting for me because I'm so involved in organizing and operating it. But I'm going to talk about the parts that touched me from within. And the theme is deep within. That's what we went for this year. And part of that was because we were going deep into the bench strength of the people who were at the retreat anyway. So we had the people who have been gathering there and put them on stage so we could listen to them. And deep within is also connecting with our truth, what's down deep within us. And that shows up in a couple of different ways. Deep within are treasures, gifts and talents and skills and abilities, many of which we're aware of, ways that we can bring ourselves into the world and share those gifts and talents and the unique presence that we are with the world, and touch others and help others and uplift others and accomplish things and do stuff and build businesses or families or practices or whatever it is that we're doing. And we celebrate those. We celebrate those treasures that are deep within. And also deep within, maybe for some people, there are some demons. There are some things that we did or were done to us or we experienced either earlier today or earlier in life or as children, that when we reflect upon them, that's just not who we are, what we're about now. And perhaps it left a trauma or a scar or an injury or a wound. And a lot of times what we want to do is just forget about it. Just talking to somebody, there's a sign on the Verrazano Bridge as you're going from Staten Island to Brooklyn. It says, forget about it, one word. Sometimes we just want to forget about it. But of course, when we go deep within, those injuries, those wounds, those demons are there. And sometimes they're so scary, they don't want to deal with them. And the idea of going deep within is that by acknowledging and owning and establishing a relationship with those demons, those injuries, those things, it takes their power away. Yeah, that happened to me, and that's not defining my life now. That's the truth of what happened in the past, and it's influencing me, but it doesn't need to control me. As I think about some of the demons, some of the injuries, some of the stuff that either I've done or has been done to me, it has made me far more capable and effective in doing what I'm doing next. I happen to have had some ministers during my coming up in New Thought who did some dysfunctional things unto me. And one of the things that I learned is now I know how not to treat the people who I'm dealing with as a minister. So isn't that good news? Yay! Yes, it is. So a lot of what happened last week was digging into just those sorts of experiences. And there were a dozen people who were doing talks and keynotes and workshops and activities. And it was all very rich and uplifting. I'm going to talk about a couple of them. My friend, Reverend Michelle Izugwu, that's her name, Izugwu. She lives in Phoenix, Arizona. She's part of Sofa Sundays, which is a group that meets at 11:11 on Sunday morning, and they sit on a sofa and they just chat with each other, she and her co-minister, Jeannie Sovereigns. And there is so much love in Michelle's life because her maiden name is Davis. And she loves this man so much that she changed her name to Izugwu. As far as I'm concerned, that's love. And she had an experience some number of years ago. She has 4 kids, a son, and then a long time there was another son, and then several years, and then there were twins who were born premature. And the middle son was quite a challenge for her. And she found herself arguing with him all the time. And he was just combative. And she was in the middle of an argument at one point, and she realized, I don't want to be fighting with him. This is my son, and I love him, and I disagree with him, but I don't want to be fighting with him. So she just stopped. She stopped fighting. She did whatever she needed to do to clear the energy because what she wanted to do was be hugging him. And she's turned that into a technique and into a book called the Set Reset Method. When we find ourselves in one of those situations where we're having a fight, when we're having a disagreement, when there's a bunch of energy coming up with somebody and we don't want the energy to be the defining factor, we can just stop. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm not interested in winning the argument. I'm more interested in love. And this reflects back on a lot of stuff that I've talked about before, which is in any situation, we often can choose whether we want to be right or we want to be happy. And it's interesting, if you ask people, do you want to be right or you want to be happy? They say, I want to be happy because I'm right. And we got to let go of being right. Maybe I'm not right. Maybe there's something going on in this situation that is bigger than what I assumed or expected or am insisting is the truth. In golf, they call it a mulligan. You do a bad shot, the group agrees you could take the shot again, like it never happened. And it's really easy to do that as long as you're willing to let go of the energy. I'm not going to say, let's stop arguing, and I'm going to say the last word about the argument, and then we're going to go on, and you're going to eat that. No, that puts that deep within. We're not going to do that. It's just like, let's move on. Let's do something different. Very simple, but very powerful. My friend, Dr. P.J. Stanley, who's spoken at New Thought Philadelphia a few times, she's down in Fort Worth, Texas. She was stressing the importance of not knowing how something's going to happen. Don't need to know how. She told a couple of stories. One, when she was, she and her husband were married, and for some reason he needed to go back to Vietnam because it was important to him. So she went with him. She said, I don't know why I had to go, but I went to Vietnam. So we were in Vietnam for a while. And apparently with the visa that they had to leave the country in order to be eligible to come back. So they followed the immigration and visa rules. They needed to go someplace else. They're not going to come back to the United States. So they went to Thailand. They went to Phuket, Thailand. And along the way, she had set the intention that she wanted to get back into music. She wanted to sing. She wanted to perform. She wanted to be in music again. And she got to Phuket, and there was a big resort right nearby, the lavish one in the area. And she got to talking with the events manager. And the events manager was lamenting that he was way too late in getting a band for the season that was about to start. So, what do I do now? And she knew from a previous relationship with an events manager that they don't really care about the music. They don't really care about the band. They need to know that they're dependable, they're going to show up on time, they're going to perform, they're going to leave. So she said, I can do music for you. And he said, really? She said, when do we need to start? A couple of weeks. Okay, got it. Bring a band. How big do you need the band to be? And they told him. And so she said, we got it, made a deal. Then she went out to find a band. She was the most successful musical act and booker in Phuket for 5 years. She set the intention for what she was going to do, and then it happened in partnership with the infinite. We all have a lot of words or names for the divine, that creative power, God, source, nature, the Big Bang. She calls it George. She's got a relationship with George. So she just turned it over to George, and George put her in charge of this project. Fast forward, she moved back to the United States. She and her husband decided that they weren't going to be married anymore. It was a mutual decision, but still kind of painful. She got the car, a little PT Cruiser that she loved, a green PT Cruiser. And for some unknown reason, she loved this car. And after many years, her friends told her, you know, you really need a different car. And she took a fresh look at the PT Cruiser and she said, yeah, I do. So she set the intention to have a new car. And nothing happened. And then somebody said, well, what kind of car do you want? She said, I don't know. And her friend pointed out, well, if you don't know what kind of car you want, then that's what you're going to get. And that's what you've gotten so far. So she thought, oh, all right. And she started looking around, just like driving. She's looking at other cars and she decided, that's kind of interesting. I don't like that one at all. This one's, maybe. And she decided that what she really wanted was an Acura SUV. So she set her intention for an Acura SUV. She had no money to buy a new car. There was none of the resources, none of the infrastructure was in place. And within a couple of days of deciding that's the car that she wants, a friend of hers called and said, I'm in a situation. My wife keeps, when she's driving, she keeps drifting into the wrong lane. So I need to get her one of those cars that's smart enough to tell her where she's supposed to go. So would you take her old car?
an Acura SUV. And it fell into her lap because she let go of how. How's that going to happen? I don't know. None of my business. She says, George knows, God knows, the divine knows, the infinite knows. This is a creative power that creates galaxies. Do you figure it can find a car for you? Do you figure it can find a date for you? Do you figure it can make that pain in the foot stop hurting? Probably. Probably. There are the workshops talking about transformation. And transformation is about our willingness to do the work. And it's not that we have to go out and move this from here to there. The work is to dig deep within, to understand what the gifts are, what the talents, the skills, the resources, what is it that we're bringing to the situation? And also, what are those traumas? What are those injuries? What are those things that are controlling us that we might not be aware of? Is there something for us to let go of? It's a wonderful question we get to ask ourselves. Am I willing to do the work, the internal, spiritual, emotional work to clear the stage so that something wonderful can happen? As PJ pointed out, if she didn't decide what kind of car she wanted, the universe would be sitting there saying, okay, waiting. I got time, infinite time. And of course, that's nothing new either. The phrase about that is nothing changes until something changes. So when we change, then the outside experience can change. There are lots of possibilities for how change can happen. There was a wonderful announcement during the big event that we did on Tuesday evening, the Raise the Roof open house. I'll explain a little more about that. This is a new project, a brand new project that was announced last Tuesday, which is a collaboration between the Affiliated New Thought Network, which is sort of the combiner, and the Centers for Spiritual Living, which is one of the big New Thought organizations, the one that was founded by Ernest Holmes, and Unity, which is the other big New Thought organization that was founded by Charles and Myrtle Fillmore. And there's now a combined effort called An Awakened Path. And it's about collaboration and outreach, because we think we have something really powerful in this New Thought teaching, and we're tired of being the world's best kept secret. There are lots of people who keep on taking a little tiny bit of this, like, oh, you can do an affirmation, I am prosperous, and be prosperous. And that's a fraction, as you know, of a spiritual practice. And it works right up until it stops working. So these three organizations, and what's going to happen immediately is the other organizations are already piling on, because we want to be part of this as well. It's a collaboration for teaching materials and for outreach and for promotion and for marketing to bring something new into the world. And this is all a matter of bringing everybody together, going deep within and saying, who are we? What do we want to do? And it was wonderful to have Sonny Cantrell-Smith, who's the spiritual leader of the Centers for Spiritual Living, and Jim Blake, who's the president of Unity World Headquarters, together on the stage with Michelle Whittington, who's the executive director of ANTN, saying, this is who we are, this is what we're doing, this is what we're creating, this is what's happening next. Kind of gave us chills. It's wonderful. And that happened during our Tuesday evening Raise the Roof open house. So the ANTN Retreat has been going for 35 years. And, it was at little conference centers in California, up near a lake someplace that nobody could get to. And when I first started going in 2011, it was in the Franciscan Retreat Center in Scottsdale, Arizona. And it was a wonderful little place to get together where the Franciscans were running things, and we kind of got to play along. And we've been at Unity Village since, I think, 2018, maybe a little before that. And in the hotel conference room, which has room for about 120 people. And this year, it looked like we were going to outgrow the 120 people capacity. So we wanted to move to the slightly larger chapel. And Unity Village has been rebuilding their activity center, and is now the Goppert Event Center. It's an 850-seat venue. It's a huge step up. It's got lots of technology. It's got gorgeous space. It's an atrium building. It is spectacular, absolutely spectacular. So we were given that space. And one of the things that we said is, we've got all this space. We're going deep within. We have all the talent and the treasures that we're willing to share. Let's do an open house and invite all the people from the area to come in. Because Unity Village to the people in the Kansas City area is kind of like Philadelphia to the people who live in New Jersey. There is some barrier that keeps them from wanting to come in. For us, it's the Delaware River. People, for some reason, think of that as a moat. that's keeping folks in New Jersey from coming to Philadelphia. You need a lot of nerve in order to do that. So there are a lot of people in the area that have been involved in New Thought or peripherally touching New Thought who'd never been to Unity Village. So we said, let's have an open house. Let's invite them all in. And the hook was that the musical director for the retreat this year is Ricky Byers, the amazing Ricky Byers, who's like top shelf New Thought music. So we're going to do a Ricky Byers concert, and everybody in the Unity world knows Martha Creek, especially in that area. So we're going to have a keynote speech by Martha Creek. And that's what we're going to get people to come in for. And as soon as we said we're going to do that, the churches and the people and the community started raising their hands saying, hey, let's have a choir. Well, who's going to run the choir? Stephanie Bland says, I'll do the choir. So they organized a community choir, 80 people in this choir to sing along with Ricky Byers. And Ricky loves to sing with the choir, but as she told me, I used to be a choir director. Now I like to sing with choir. Somebody else can direct. And it was wonderful. So we had this choir, we had this talk by Martha Creek, we had this special announcement that nobody knew about the Awaken Path, that collaboration. And we invited people in, and we were ready to have a full house, so 850 people. There were about 600 there. There were about 600 people there. And it was a big deal. It was a spectacular deal. And we had a vendor fair. We invited somebody to set up a vendor fair. So there were 14 people who came in selling singing bowls and doing healings and reading tarot cards and crystals and all the rest of that. And just add some richness and some fullness and some complexity, to be honest, because, as one of the people organizing, it was complexity. And when you do something like that, you never know if it's going to work. So we had the vendor fair, then we had the Raise the Roof open house, and then we had a candlelight walk on the Unity Village Labyrinth, which is a 90-foot stone paver labyrinth. It's the largest one in North America. And ANTN is the group that puts the candles out every year, and we walk the labyrinth. So we invited everybody to join us for that. And when you do something like that, you never know how it's going to land. So we got an email back from a woman who attended. Let me read the email for you. Tuesday night, my 13-year-old son and I entered the R.D. Goppert Event Center at Unity Village for a concert by singer-songwriter-composer Ricky Byers. Tables of vendors selling crystals, tarot cards, psychic readings, massages, and more filled the lobby. This definitely differed from the Baptist church I attended growing up. My son currently attends Baptist church on his own each Sunday. He said, "This is overwhelming." I asked him if he wanted to go, and he said no. He skeptically watched as the choir began to dance and sing. Eventually, he began to tap his foot to the beat. Then I saw his body jiggling from side to side and then stomped his feet to the beat. Finally, he was clapping his hands and yelling, "Amen." I felt so much gratitude to have found a place where he could come and be safe and accepted. I love music, and the music felt like a Baptist church at a revival when the good music happens. And that's how Ricky Byers describes it. She's doing a revival. It's a New Thought revival. Continuing, before I knew it, we were both clapping and dancing. We cheered and hollered. We raised our hands above our head to raise the roof. After the concert, he asked to purchase a crystal bracelet that would help him with emotional regulation. He decided it wouldn't hurt or be anti-Baptist. Next, Reverend Dr. Martha Creek came and schooled us on the current state of New Thought. She affirmed with conviction that everyone is welcome. She repeated, everyone is welcome. Tears fell from my eyes. I knew God was there. The unity, goodness, joy, light, optimism, and intention were all palpable. I whispered to my son, "Isn't it cool that God is in here?" He said it was. And then I reminded him that wherever he is, God is, because he is one with God. What a powerful notion to believe that we are inherently good and worthy rather than separate from a God to be feared. This shift is life-changing. Afterward, we walked the labyrinth and whispered to each other about what a labyrinth and meditation are. He felt accomplished after walking the 3/4 of a mile through the labyrinth. He admired the moon and stars as we walked. We spoke again about how God was right there with us everywhere. I'm thankful to Unity and affiliated New Thought Network for the continual evolution of my belief systems in a safe place to explore. I'm eternally grateful to the opportunity to teach my children that God is good, God is always in them, and they are good in their own very existence. What a stark contrast to my upbringing in church. I'm thrilled to be here to continue the growth in my spirituality, faith, education, and personal and professional growth. I'm also thankful for a night with my son I will never forget. We don't know. We don't know when something we do is going to be transformational. We do, and we see, and sometimes we hear back. In his keynote, Robert Brzezinski reminded us that we are the ones we've been waiting for. If there is salvation, if there is rescue, if there is resurrection, if there's redemption coming, we're the ones. Not to find it, but to be it. We are the ones we've been waiting for. And a reminder to me that next Saturday, on the 18th of October, is a No Kings protest, and it'll be the biggest one ever. And this is a protest to say, this is who we are. This is what freedom, this is what love, this is what harmony, this is what equality, this is what fairness looks like in my world, in my country. It's called No Kings because we don't have kings. It's not to fight against anything. It's to stand for the truth of the love that we are. It's an opportunity to speak up and claim the future. So if you're planning on going to a No Kings rally, I'll see you at the one in Philadelphia or wherever it is that you happen to be. And if you're not planning to go to one, go to indivisible.org or just go online and search for No Kings. It will certainly tell you where to go and how to take part. And decide what kind of a world you want to live in. And go to the protest knowing that. You don't have to have a preconceived notion. You don't have to go wanting the things that I want. And don't be dismayed because how could that possibly change anything? How could that possibly help? How? It does none of our business. None of our business how. I was reminded today that in the 1920s, in the interval between the world wars, as Germany went into fascism, the same forces were trying to drag the United States into fascism, and we came out with an empowered working class, consumer class, driving the most effective economy in the world. We became the saviors who helped to win World War II. We have freedom, we have self-determination, we have intention, and we can do it again. Do I want to? Doesn't matter. We are the ones we've been waiting for. And if it seems overwhelming and inundating, we've announced again, Anton and New Thought Philadelphia are doing another listening session. And this is going to be the day after that. It's going to be on the 19th, 7 o'clock Eastern time on Zoom. And it's not to fix anything. It's not to protest or claim anything. It's simply to be present with each other for what's going on, to talk about the possibilities that are at hand, to set some intention and be present with each other. So I invite you to register for one of those and get reminded about the Zooms and stuff. And the other thing I'm going to give you a shout out for is we announced Aligned, Awake, Aware, which is the 2026 retreat at Unity Village. And as I have said before, if Unity Village is not on your bucket list, you need a bigger bucket. It is spectacular. It is the largest New Thought property in North America. It feels spiritual and deep. There's nature grounds. There's a wonderful courtyard with roses and fountains. There's a prayer vigil that has been going for over 120 years continuously. And Anton is one of the few groups that gets invited to have individuals sit in that prayer vigil. So there's an opportunity to spend a half an hour doing prayer for 30,000 people worldwide who have requested prayer and to be present in that process. And doing it with the affiliated New Thought Network retreat makes it even better because it's like a family reunion, even if it's family that you've never met before. Floyd Lula is doing the music. That's Gary Lynn Floyd and Jamie Lula, who is the same Jamie Lula who is doing music for New Thought Philadelphia from time to time. An opportunity to be that bright light of love that you are. And the good news is because you're part of New Thought Philadelphia and we're a member of Anton, if you let me know by the end of October, I can get you in at the really low price, like less than $500, and that includes the whole program and a week of meals. End of the pitch for that. And it's not a pitch because I want to sell you something. It's because there is such richness and such value and such a treasure there that I really want you to share in it. Because deep within, there is a treasure. Each one of us is a gift. We're each on an awakened path. We each have an opportunity to share those gifts and raise the roof, to bring about transformation, to let go of how and open to the wow. So I invite you to do that. Let that be the truth of who you are, because you are a blessing. And so it is.
must not ever, ever forget. We've heard that time and time again, but nothing changes in the end. We watch as history repeats, throw up our hands in vain defeat, like there's no choice but to defend, while they keep saying, be the change, be the peace, be the love you wish to see in this world. Be the light that we all need. Be the voice of destiny. You've got to be the voice of destiny. Well, I got tired of giving up, believing I was not enough, 'cause I just bought into the lie. So I made changes in my mind to trust the power here inside. We only find out when we try. To be the change, be the peace, be the love we wish to see in this world. Be the light we all need. Be the voice of destiny. Yeah. Be the voice of destiny. Oh, maybe I'm here to break the chain, even if I don't know how. Oh, I love the way it feels to believe. So I'm starting here. I'm starting now to be the change, be the peace, be the love I wish to see in this world. Be the light we all need. Be the voice of destiny. It's time for me to be the voice of destiny. I am the voice of destiny.
Thank you, Deb. Wonderful, wonderful, Rev, sharing those stories. Deep within. I like that phrase, deep within. So this morning, I guess each one of us went deep within since we got up. That's the first thing we do, right, when we get up. RPM, rise, P, meditate. And then talk to your friends, to your partners, to your spouse. Talk to that source. Talk to George. And go deep within. That's why I like that class. I like that class that Reverend Bill gave, The Joy of Meditation, and the book. You know, we got the Beyond Limits, we got different classes. But I really like that class. It's simple, it's refreshing, and it's soothing. And I don't think Reverend Bill gave that much homework on that. That's one thing I don't like about the classes, the homework. But yeah, that's part of it. That's part of the transformation and the growth. Just like when we do our spiritual practice, and like this morning, I remember when I was starting to meditate, some people made fun of me, but I just went deep within. That's the best thing to do, and in the Christian philosophy, they don't use meditation too much. They use prayer, and they think meditation is like a Buddha practice, things like that. But I always remind them, go to Psalms 1. It says, blessed is the man or woman that meditate on the Lord day and night. He's like that tree planted by the rivers of water that gives its fruit in the season, and its leaves should not wither, and whatever we say and touch will prosper. Sometimes they ask me, what's the difference between meditation and prayer? It's no difference. It's the same stick with two ends, and meditation, go deep within to the center of your core. And in prayer, you see the manifestation, the demonstration of your meditation. So we're going to go deep within, in prayer. It's always good to use your feelings, your imagination, your knowing. And the most essential for me is faith, because faith will take you to a place of acceptance and conviction, So a lot of people got too much beliefs, even us got too much beliefs and too little knowing. So we got to have more knowing and less belief, because before we believed that the earth was flat, and now we know that the earth is round. So it's always good to have that knowing. So we're going to go deep within. The great philosopher from the 14th century, Aramingo, said, because there's a lot of techniques in meditation, different techniques to keep you in peace, keep you grounded. But we use spiritual meditation, and that gives us clarity, that gives us inspiration, that gives us revelation and illumination. And all these attributes of God, they incarnated in us. And through meditation, they blossom out. It's a spirit in man, and this spirit is God. And God is the one that gives us that inspiration and that intuition, which is that still small voice of God within. So Aramingo said, if you truth to yourself and honest and flexible and open, you will find your own way through your meditation. Sitting down, standing up, taking a shower, whatever you do, going through a walk in the park, looking at a candle. But the best way to get to deep within is through your breathing. So I invite you, you take that deep breath in, let it go deep within, feel it all the way to your stomach, hold it there for 2 seconds, and let it go. And when you let it go, hold it there too for 2 seconds, and repeat that cycle. And the thinking leaves going. So yes, close your eyes or bring them to a soft focus. Go deep within. Take a deep breath. Let it go through your lungs, all the way to your stomach, all the way to your right there to the middle, right here. Hold it there. 2 seconds, 3. Let it go. Empty yourself and hold it. 2, 3 seconds. And repeat it. That same breathing as you're comfortable. Deep within. See that joy that comes through your body, that stillness. You will receive revelation, inspiration, illumination from the source. So you're going deep within. It's not you and God, it's God. It's God. All is God. Behind us, before us, around us, through us. Within. Deep within. Stay there. In that stillness, that softness, that smoothness, that calmness, that easiness, tranquility. Oh, that's God in you, incarnated. The attributes, love, joy, peace, wisdom, balance, freedom, intelligence are yours, because God in you has you. It is you. Deep within. Deep within.
Where we are, God is, and all is well. All is well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. Because there is a force of love moving through the universe. It holds us fast and will never let us go. What would we do if we were brave? Would we really believe that where God is, I am? Could we really dig deep enough to find that treasure? Of course we can. Of course we can. Because we are one with that love, that power, that presence. Claim it, allow it, accept it. It is at hand for our taking. Open our minds, open our hearts, and open our hands. So for the courage, the wisdom, the love to do all of this. I'm grateful. I'm grateful that it is ours now. And so I allow it. I'll release the how and just allow it and release my word to the law that always says yes. And so it is. Open up to it. Now Deb will play us another song.
I know that, of course we can. This is a song I wrote with Gary Lynn Floyd. Kissing the earth with my feet today, no matter what I see. Angry words and accusations, won't let them get to me. 'Cause I know every syllable comes from a broken heart. I wanna see through it, see who you are, and walk lightly, walk lightly, walk lightly through the world today. Empty threats from talking heads, always tempting me. Instead of trying to catch my breath, I just need to breathe and make a little space inside, a new possibility. Enough room for you, enough room for me. And talk kindly, talk kindly, talk kindly with every word I say. Taking the weight of the world off, shaking the dirt off, come what may. A little goes a long, long way. Walk lightly, walk lightly, talk kindly, talk kindly, walk lightly, walk lightly, walk lightly through the world, talk kindly with every word, walk lightly through the world today. A little goes a long, long way.
Well, that figures. I didn't know that you knew Gary. let alone that you co-wrote a song with him or multiples.
But the internet makes available.
Yeah, lots of stuff that goes on. And Jesus thought that he didn't have to do any homework from the meditation class. Yes, you did. And you get to do it. Didn't feel like homework because there's no paper to hand in. Yeah, and the wonderful thing about this teaching is that once we understand the power that we have, the ability to look at a situation and envision something and invite it, that it just kind of comes along. I was reminded that last year at the ANTN Retreat, when the Goppert Center was under construction, we did a tour through the construction zone. I was with Ginger Coyle. And I took Ginger onto the stage and I said, a year from now, you're going to be standing here singing with Ricky Byers. And she's like, oh, yeah. And Ricky is very gracious. And in one of the morning sessions, Ricky excused herself from the piano and Ginger sat down and performed a song that she wrote as part of her practitioner class. She's now a credentialed practitioner. So all sorts of things are possible. And this is the part of the celebration where you get to share the new possibilities, the new awareness that's come up for you. If there's something that somebody has something that you want to share, some new item of wisdom that you'd like to give voice to, take a stand for, go ahead and raise your hand on the Zoom or in the room. Jesus, come on up.
Yeah, I just wanted to share. I was speaking with Nia, and I guess Nia speaking for her, but I'm speaking for myself. We were speaking about the retreat, and I guess she want to go, and I said, well, if you're a Muslim, in your lifetime, you got to go to Mecca, once in your lifetime. And if you're a New Thought, I guess once in your lifetime, you got to go to Unity Village. So I guess we got to do that walk, but in October, that's like my busy season.
Beginning of October.
Yeah, so I just had a trip, when was it, on the 6th or something like that? What is it? Yeah, the 6th and the 7th, I had a trip, so that's when I start more or less. So I gotta work my schedule because really I wanted to go this year. And when I want something, Jesus will get it. So yeah.
Amen. Yeah, I was wondering why we did the candle for Islam twice, and that was it. So we've got our own Mecca now. So anybody else, something that you'd like to share? Come on up, Nia.
So I'm reading this book. It's called The Man Who Speaks or Talks to Flowers. It's about Dr. George Carver Washington. And I just know him as the Peanut Man. But Michael Beckwith, I was listening to one of his podcasts, and that was an actual book that he talked about. So I went and got the book. So as we're just talking about like going deep or deep within, he spoke about how he came up with the inventions, and it was because he would actually talk to the peanut, and he would talk to the sweet potatoes, and he would speak with the flowers. But in speaking with them, he's saying he's speaking to God, because God is the peanut, God is the flower, God is the sweet potato, and he's also God. So he's connecting with who he is. And then that's how he came up with like all the inventions that he actually had. And I just thought about all the adversary around him, because I always talk about like externally, like things that's going on. But in the book, it just talked about how, of course, this was during the time with segregation. But because of his gifts and who he was allowed to go to different speaking events. They even allowed him to get on the train and ride in front of the train just because of him being himself, which he considered God. God within him, God within the peanut, God within. And it just made me think about going deep in what I want to do, and then how everything would just come together without me even knowing, and it'll show up. So that's what actually came up for me with me reading the book.
Beautiful, Nia. Yeah, it's wonderful. And just to clarify, prayer is when you talk to the sweet potato, and meditation is where you listen to what the sweet potato is telling you. There we go. Michelle, you want to come up and lead us in our offering affirmation?
New Thought Philadelphia is all about spreading the love. Our community is supported by your contributions. The gift you share helps fund our work in the world, and the way you shine your light spreads the love. We have a basket in the room and a donate button on the website to make a donation by Zelle, Cash App, credit card, PayPal, or Venmo. You can also mail a check to our office in Ardmore. We are grateful for every way you share. The offering affirmation is on the screen. Okay, we'll all unmute and say the affirmation together. I live
in an abundant universe.
I am
am
one.
I'm one
infinite source
with the
of
infinite
all.
source of all good.
I
I am the center of
I am the
conscious
center of conscious
prosperity.
prosperity.
I
I
enjoy
enjoy the
I
richness
enjoy the
of life.
richness of life.
bless my
Bless
gift.
my
I
gift.
bless my gift.
I
I
share
share my
gift
gift
with
with
gratitude.
gratitude and joy.
I
I
know
I know
that
that as I give,
I
I do
do
receive.
and
so it is.
So it is.
thank you, Michelle. Thank you all. Deepest gratitude. And Deb, one more for us.
Right. Well, we weren't there with Ricky Byers, but we can bring Ricky Byers to us.
Amen. Sing it, girl.
So let's all sing some Ricky. Love, love, love everybody. Love, love, love when it's hard to love. Love, our loving will change the world. Let's do that again. Love, love, love everybody. Love, love, love when it's hard to love. Love, our loving will change the world. Share, let's share. Share who you are. Share, share, share who you are. Share, share, share when it's hard to share. Share, sharing will change the world. Let's sing all together. Sing, sing, sing all together. Sing, sing, sing when it's hard to sing. Sing, our singing will change the world. Care for each other. Care, care, care for each other. Care, care, care for the ones who need care. Our caring will change the world. Oh, find me here, singing for you, heart wide open for what we came to do. The wind in the tree sings the melody true. To love everybody, let the love shine through. Everybody sing love, love, love everybody. Love, love, love when it's hard to love. Love, our loving will change the world. Our caring will change the world. Our sharing will change the world. Our loving will change the world. Woo-hoo.
Thank you, Deb. Thank you, everybody who's joining us here at the Falzer Club. Thank you for everybody who is joining us on Zoom. We are grateful for the blessings that continue to unfold and pour forth through and as in each one of us. Let's close with another cacophony. So if you're in the room, stand up and maybe take the hand of the person who's next to you. If you're on Zoom, go ahead and unmute so you can repeat after me. I am love.
I am love.
I am light.
I am light.
I go deep within.
I go deep within.
I share my treasures.
I share my
I
treasure.
transform my tragedies.
I transform my tragedies.
Let the light shine.
Let the light shine.
And so it is.
And so
So it is.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.